Hello everyone. On my craft table today I have for you a tutorial for making the bead crochet ropes. Okay, bead crochet ropes first requires you to string on all the beads that you need onto a thread, and then we begin to crochet. Okay, so it goes like this. So there is a set pattern and there is a set design which we will be talking about later. So for now I am going to show you how to start a bead crochet rope which is of 6 bead circumference. So any crochet rope has got a circumference. It can be 5 beads, 6 bead, 12 beads. See this bead crochet rope. So this one has the circumference. By the circumference we mean the number of beads that make up the rope. So that we can go into detail later on, but now what I'm going to show you is how to start a bead crochet rope which has got 6 bead circumference. So I have strung on very thick thread. See, this thread is really thick because I want to do it like that because it's easy for you to watch on on your screens, and then you can follow it with thin thread of your choice. Okay, now like I told you, you have to string on the beads. So I have strung on the beads in this order. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that way I have strung on all the beads in that order, and the beads are very thick beads. Okay, and always when you're learning, use very big beads. This could be about size I think it is 6, or it could be even it could be 4 also, but this has no size or anything because these beads are just very not very good quality beads. They are all very uneven, but because we are going to do this only for practice, so I recommend that you use very big beads and thick thread also. Okay, for that the crochet hook that I am using is tulip. Okay, size 6, it's 1 mm crochet hook. Start by making a slip knot. And then bring down the first 6 beads and hold it tight like this. Okay, now first to begin with, you will make a slip stitch. So I assume that you all already crochet, and then you are learning to bead crochet now. So make the slip stitch. After making the slip stitch, bring down. Now I told you 6 beads, right? So I want you to string on beads, each one of a different color, not the same color 6 beads, because that helps immensely in helping us to start our rope. So to begin with, I'll bring down 1 bead and let there be tension here. See, there should be tension there. 1 2. So this is called just chain stitch. You can work very loosely also, not necessary that you have to be tight. 4 5 and 6. Okay, so after making the 6, using up all the 6 beads, we have to make it into a circle like this. Okay, so to make it into a circle, see, it should become into a circle like this. To make it into a circle, you take your needle and insert it in the first chain that you made. Now the tail thread is disturbing you. Okay, let me put it behind, and see, I have inserted my needle in the first chain that I made. Okay, and pull it and join it. When you join, you get a 6 bead circle like this. Okay, now you should bring down 6 more beads. Bring down 6 more beads like this and hold it with good tension like this. The first step is insert your needle in the under the first orange bead, or in the same space where you did the join. So insert it like this. Okay, when you insert, you have to push this orange bead to the other side, and you have to bring this thread over like that. So this is the only time you have to do that. Okay, because I tell you why. So you joined here. You could even, no, I'll tell you what we did earlier. Insert your needle in the same space, push this bead to the right side, and after pushing it, you have to bring this thread around that like that, and make sure that your orange bead is on the right side. See, it will be like this. Okay, now bring the orange bead and make a slip stitch. See, now we have to work into the dark blue bead. You know why? Because see, the dark blue bead is here. Okay, so here also you have to work into the dark blue bead. Insert your needle in the under the bead like this. See, it's a little tricky in the beginning. It will be like this. Put your bead away like that, and at the same time bring this working thread around the blue bead like this. See, in the first step, this is very important because there is no other way that I know to get around that. From the second row onwards, it gets easy. Okay, now this is a complete mess. You will see that there is no proper formation of anything at all, but your only guide is the beads that you have here that you have strung. So now the light pink bead. Okay, so you have to work under the light pink bead here. Now this is the most crucial part of it. See, now what I did was, see, if in only one step, look, so I am pushing the pink bead that side, I am making a kind of gap here under the pink bead, and in one go I am making this. That helps us to do the stitch in one go instead of pushing to the right side and bringing the thread around and all that. Okay, now this is done. Now what do we do next? The next bead that we have to work is the maroon bead, because this you have to work inside this maroon bead. Okay, now again there are two ways to do it. One, you will insert under this here like this. You will push the brown bead that side, and at the same time this thread has to come around like this, and this is your position where you can bring down this next bead and then make a slip stitch, or you can even just put your needle itself in one go so that your bead goes out to that side. Now that takes a little bit of practice, so I'm just showing you, so that is also one of the ways to do it. Now the last bead that you have to work is the blue bead. See, in one go I will insert the needle in one go. I'll explain again. See, usually what we have to do is we have to insert it like this, push the bead that you have to work to the right, and take this thread and come out like this, and then be ready to bring down the bead. But instead what I do is, see, with one move itself I will insert my needle in the right side itself and make sure that the bead that I am working is on the right side. bring down the bead from the thread and make a slip stitch. Okay, now we have completed 2 rows. Doesn't look like any 2 row or 3 row. You'll get there, so don't worry now. Okay, now which bead, see now supposing you drop this and you pick it up and then you don't know which bead you have to work into. At that time what you have here is the guide. Okay, so again 6 more beads, so you have to work the orange color bead. So the orange color bead is here. I am not speaking because I want you to watch what I am doing. See, once again I will tell you, there are 2 ways of doing this stitch. So you will insert your needle under this, then push your bead to the right side. After pushing it to the right side, you will bring this thread around the bead like this. Okay, and then you will get to this position, and then you will bring down the bead and make the slip stitch. What I over the years have understood is, if you have good tension here, so if there is good tension here, with one slight move of the hand, you see, if this is like this, you can always do this in one step like this. See, your bead is on the right side, there are 2 threads on your needle like this. This one is coming, this your working thread is coming on the top. You just have to bring the bead down and work like this. Okay, now I think there is some kind of a pattern or design that's coming up, right? So I will let you watch now. Guys, this is real time, so definitely it will take it takes time, but it helps you to understand the method, I guess. Because if I am going to edit and then I am going to show you, you will not be able to understand the real process. So if you think the stitch is easy and I am doing it quite, see here again, you see what happens is, now I cannot see this blue bead, so I will assume that this is my next bead that I have to work into, and I will do it. But you see, my guide is this one. Okay, now blue is here, there is blue, I still have to work on blue. So initially when you are practicing, if you use the color beads only, you will be able to get it correctly. And when you have practiced enough, you will know if you miss a bead, you will know, or if you keep a count on the circumference of the bead or rope also, you will get to know. But initially having different color bead is a real game changer for you. Different color beads, thick big beads, thick thread, all this helps for you to learn. Okay, so you can't immediately begin with size 8 bead or size 11 bead. That's going to be the most frustrating thing to learn. Well, especially for me, I cannot I lose patience, and it, because when I do something and when I don't get it, I just go crazy and then just spend lots of time on that, but not getting the results that I want. See, once again I will show you closely. See, when you look here, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, see, when you look here, you will insert your needle to the right like this. When you insert it like that, automatically that blue bead will go to the right. Okay, and then you will bring this down and do the slip stitch once again. And another thing is, I will just squeeze this a little bit like this and squeeze it a little bit so that the thread that I want to work comes up like that. So if I give it a little squeeze, and you see, I'm just taking out my needle for you to show, and you see on the side there is a gap here. Okay, that's the side of the bead. So there, insert your needle in the side here, on the side of the bead, or to the left of that bead. Okay, some tutorials will teach you this method. So like see, inserting the bead, needle here, then pushing this bead to the right, then after that bringing this thread up like this, pushing the bead to the right like this, and then making the slip stitch. But I do it in one go like this. But at all times, the bead, the thread and the beads that you have, that should be in good tension. If it's loose, you cannot work. If it's loose like this, you cannot work. So this, you have to hold it tight. When you hold it tight, with one move like this, you can make your slip stitch. So guys, please practice like how I tell you, and in no time you will be able to do all the patterns and designs that you see everywhere on all the social media. But this initial making the rope is the most difficult part and after you learn to make the rope, stringing the beads on is the most difficult part, because it calls for a lot of attention and patience, because you have to string or thread about thousands of beads together. And in a particular pattern, which is the most difficult part after you have learned how to do the rope. So guys, I hope this tutorial helped you. Like I have struggled a lot without following this method, because when I learned to bead crochet about, say, like maybe 20 years back or even before, I guess. So when I learned to bead crochet, I did not have access to YouTube, and I don't even know if there was any tutorial on YouTube at that time for bead crochet. All I got was some printed instructions with pictures on them, of course, and I had to read the instructions, look at the pictures, and follow this, which was quite a task. It took me about 2 months to even get to this position. So at that time is when I realized that having different color beads, having bigger beads, a contrasting thick thread is what is going to help me, and that is what has helped me. And now I love bead crochet. So see, this is how your tube has turned out. Okay, now after you have done, so this is the basic stitch. There is also double crochet bead stitch, which I don't usually use. I use only single crochet bead stitch. So you can continue like this. Thank you for watching.